I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the people who are joining us from the different time zone. I think Arena has mentioned it is difficult for everyone to join on the same time zone, and sometimes somewhere it is night, somewhere it is evening. But we still, thankful for you to give us a time and join this session. I'll just start with a thank note to Elena for introducing me and arranging this session. I think during this session, if you have any difficulties or any question, you can put a chat box or contact Elena. So let's start. I think today's session we specially draft to introduce you the FusionCube solution from Huawei. In other way, we call it hyper-converged infrastructure HCI solution. I'm the presenter for today, and for my small introduction, I'm having 17 years of IT experience in the industry. In Huawei, I completed 10 years, and I have a couple of certifications, technical achievements I have done in my career time. I'm HCI certified on storage domain, and also the HCI certified on the cloud domain. And I'm handling associated with the delivery and services team in Huawei. And I think some of people are interacting with me for some business needs. So some people know me. For those who are not new for me, you can now note this point. In today's session, in the webinar, what we have drafted is like the three main topics. First is understanding the Huawei FusionCube solution and its overview. The second one is understand the planning part and the designing part for delivery perspective. And the last part is the O&M, the operations and management point of view. So these three main topics we will be covering in our session today. And during the session, we will have the question answer sessions also to make it more interactive. The people who are new for this technology, they might have some concerns and questions they can ask, and I will try to make it more suitable for learning for everyone for this technology. And if you have some experiences in this technology, you can use from this learning. I will also share you some the simulation platform tool, and also the support links from where you can download the content or the documentation for further learning. Okay, so let's start. I already introduced myself. Okay, the first part is, I think the people who are new to Huawei also, let me give you some small background. So Huawei is the principal OEM. I think by name people might know that Huawei is a pure telecom company, but Huawei also have the enterprise segment where we have the complete range of ICT platform supplier. So you can see in this slide, Huawei has the data center facility equipment starting from your UPS, batteries, modular data centers, and the micro DCs. All this manufactured, done by Huawei. So this is the complete range of data center facilities. We have the modular DC as well as a solution. On top of it, the data center equipments. So you name the equipment which is required for the ICT platforms, whether you have the servers, storage, or the network. These are the core components, and each component we have the the enterprise class segment or entry level segment. So all this also manufactured by Huawei. The equipments are manufactured by Huawei. So in today's session, we will be covering the FusionCube as a solution, so which is part of the Fusion Server segment right now. And the third layer is the software layer from the Huawei. We have the software solutions like FusionSphere, Fusion Cloud, and the Fusion Insight, and the Fusion Access as a virtual desktop infrastructure. So these are the software solutions from Huawei. So you can see this slide is just to give you an introduction about the Huawei and its equipment in ICT platform. So we are already exist the good quality products in terms of hardware and in terms of software. So today's solution, what we are discussing right now, is the FusionCube, which is actually the mix of the hardware and the software together. Let's continue. Okay, so before I touch the segment of Fusion Cube, and the Fusion Cube is actually, you can say it is the cloud segment product, and it can be used as a private cloud scenarios as well. So let me explain you where we are standing right now in terms of IT trends as an industry. So we all know that IT is evolving very fast. The changes are happening very quickly and very fast. And to sustain those changes, the new technology to speed up the business needs, the business also need to evolve the latest IT to support their business need. So you can see here, in 1970s, the mainframe was the major component, where the mainframe was delivering the business IT in terms of financial institutions. In the 80s to 90s segmentation, the popular virtualization started with the x86 platform, the Intel platform system, and this become very popular in these days areas. And ending of the 20th century, you can see that the virtualization become the main component. It has turned the data center into virtual data center spaces. And early stage of 21st century, you can say the virtualization segment turns into the cloud platforms. So now, in the future, the IT will be mostly driven by the cloud platforms. So where we have the large number of branches or the data generated, locations. So these are part of our infrastructure, and you can see in future most the IT will be attached to the every individual life, and we have to be manage the more complexity environment in terms of the IT and managing it effectively. So these two will be increased if we are increasing the IT segments. So we have to simplify this also. So this is just talking about what is the IT trend and what is the future for the IT as an requirement for the business need. So we are standing right now looking for the cloud evolution and cloud revolution, which is right now going on, and every business is actually touching the cloud right now, whether it's private or public. Okay, I think now we are into the common platform. We know Huawei. We understand that the Huawei is into equipment manufacturing, also the software solution manufacturing, and we also know that what is the need of market right now. We are touching the cloud segment, and with this requirement, Huawei has the FusionCube solution, which is touching the business need of private cloud segment and the remote office or the branch office segment. Okay, so let's start. The first part is when you are talking about the IT in terms of business, critical segment. So this is a topology, the standard topology. We have the storage boxes, which is delivering the storage spaces to the cluster environment on a fiber channel switches, and this is an additional component, to maintain the I/O and I/O performances. And the cluster is having the two component. One is the compute power, maybe the hardware of CPU, memory, and the component on top of it is the cluster technology or the virtualization technology or the virtualization platform. And after that, the compute layer actually serving to the business on some network, the LAN networks. So basically, this three the 4-layer architecture. The one is called the topology of the network. Second is the topology for the virtualization segment. Third is the backbone of your infrastructure, storage infrastructure, and the fourth layer is your device, the storage device, which actually holding the data. So this complexity actually difficult to maintain, and when at the time of creating the large branches office or the large deployment or the rapid deployment, to hold up these 4 components together, it's becoming a pain area. So now As a solution, we have merged or they converge this all layers together and make one in-box solution. We call it the FusionCube, and we have the variant, the solution. The one is called the FusionCube HCI, hyper-converged infrastructure, which actually give you the compute power, the storage power, the network together, and it become one complete solution for the business. And it is, you can say, the Huawei has simplified the the site rollout. It is prefabricated or the pre-configured from the factory and directly delivered to the customer as per the need. So you can see that this is a transformation from your traditional architecture and converting them, or converge the three layers together into one single box solution. So that is called Fusion Cube, and today's topic is about this Fusion Cube. We will be more going in deep how this is architect and how the solution is working and serving the business need and delivering the high IO and high requirements. Okay, so in continues to this one, you can see here the traditional architecture. As I mentioned in my previous slide, you might have the network components, you might have the storage component, you might have the server component, and then you have the virtualization, the factor, and then you are actually creating the stack for your business, which is your business application. So this is the traditional integration. So each component need to be integrate, verified, and difficult to manage to fine-tune your operations, daily operations and management, because the integration is the key area here. If we talk about the conversion, the first conversion is happening at the storage layer and the server layer. So what is happening basically, the storage component is no more external component. We can actually virtualize the server space directly, and it can be act as the virtualized storage system, and it can act as a virtual conversion. So this is your first level of conversion happening with the compute and the storage layer together. And now we are talking about the full stack, the FusionCube full stack. So this full stack is having the 7-layer convergence. So 7-layer convergence, you can see this entire layer, it is converged to one single box, one single infrastructure. So you can see for the business point of view, one is the infrastructure component, another is application. So we have simplified the journey of integration, journey of delivery, deployment, maintenance, of operations. All this has been simplified, and this is one box solution for the business. So directly business can start their requirements on the FusionCube. So here the 7 dimensions, you can say the compute layer convergence, the storage layer convergence, and the network layer convergence. And with this, Huawei has added the virtualization layer, which is, we have our own virtualization also, and supported with the VMware virtualization platform as well. And we have added the bare metal management system. So in the FusionCube, you can also have the bare metal management and monitoring function and attachment to the cloud. So this unit can also act as a private cloud for you, and acting as a hybrid cloud component from data transferring from your private cloud to here, public cloud, or public cloud to private cloud. So it can be integrated or foreign to your cloud environment. Okay, so in terms of the component point of view, as I mentioned that the first convergence is happening the hardware side. So we have the server together with storage and the switches. These 3 components making as a one platform, which is called the virtualized storage. So we call it Fusion Storage. Our product line, Huawei product line, is called Fusion Storage, which is coming from the server space only. And this virtualized storage can make a scattered across all the nodes. And the second component is FusionCube Center, which is our management center with management module, which will be managing this entire infrastructure. And the third component is the FusionSphere. FusionSphere or virtualization platform from VMware. You can say that this is the virtualization layer. So these 3 components, the software component, are pre-installed and configured in the system, so that the business can start their utilization of IT resources. So either this infrastructure can give you the service for the virtual desktop infrastructure, or this infrastructure can also give you your server component. Maybe you have your file systems or your email systems or your database systems. All those can be utilizing this infrastructure, or it can also hook up with the third-party applications or integration with the third-party environment. So you can see with this conversion, we have simplicity and we have optimized, and we have the open platform architecture to support the OpenStack as well and the VMware as well. Okay, from the product line point of view, after the understanding the concept, now we have the product which available for customer. So we have the two categories of the product. You can say one is the yellow zone, so and one is the pink zone. So here you can see the yellow zone is actually pointing to your remote office or branch office, or you can say the edge um, computing layer, where you have many branches or many hub stations where you need to deploy some IT component. So these are the pre-ready, pre-configured directly to deploy and start the business on the remote locations. So FusionCube 500 and FusionCube 1000, these are the two models available. We will go in deep to understand these two models. And the second layer is the hyper-converged infrastructure, which is actually a kind of data center virtualization platform and giving you the virtualized services. So here you can see with this product, the FusionCube 500, 1000, 2000, 6000, and 9000. This product can serve you in the virtualization segment, in the database segment, or the virtual desktop environment, or any critical application environment, or even they can be deployed as a edge pointer. So this is actually serving the business for their need and faster delivery of the IT into the last milestone. Okay, let's continue to understand the FusionCube 500 and the FusionCube 1000. As I mentioned, that these two products is especially for the edge. The FusionCube edge means the last milestone where we are collecting the data or processing the data at the last milestone. So these are some examples: the mining, the transportation, intelligent manufacturing, or smart campus, or the power grid hub stations. So you can deploy pre-ready, pre-configured units, and these units also coming in different variant objects. So 5000 is actually 5U box, having all the components integrated within this box, and 1000 is coming in the three variants, starting with the 8U, 24U, and the 42U segment. So these segments can be based on the requirement, can be designed and delivered. And obviously, we have added the intelligence in our equipment and the virtualization segment, which can minimize the deployment factor. So it is remote deployment supported. No need the skilled person to be on site. Only one hands and feet support is needed to power on the equipment at the site and assign one IP address, and then remotely we can do entire configuration for the system. As I mentioned, that the 1000 is the category 500 and 1000 is actually for the edge purpose. So you can see in the edge also you need to have an integration of UPS because you are touching the last milestone or the remote areas. So in this JC, the UPS also part of the component, the built-in part, and it is also being monitored and managed by the central infrastructure. We call it FusionCube Center. So this can manage all these four layers: the UPS layer, the storage, the network, the compute, the virtualization. All this layer can manage and can effectively monitor many sites. So up to 20,000. I'll just show you the next slide. Up to 20,000 sites you can have the central monitoring and management function. Okay, so this is just inline to the FusionCube 1000 only. As I mentioned that we have the three categories: the 8U box, 24U box, or the 42U box. Depending upon the customer need, this can be designed, and the UPS capacity also can be designed for 30-minute or 1-hour backup or whatever the customer is asking. This space can be utilized for one rack position. So one rack is sufficient for entire IT running in the branch segment. Okay, the next here is the HCI virtualization platform, the hyper-converged infrastructure platform. This is actually for the data center kind of environment. You have the various model. We have the FusionCube 2000, FusionCube 6000C, FusionCube 6000, and FusionCube 9000. So based on this, the name, we can have the associated hardware within this solution. So for example, if I'm talking about FusionCube 2000, this will have the 2U rack system or 1U rack system. So the rack servers are here. If we are talking about the FusionCube 6000 C model, so this is actually, we have the 4 node within the 2U chassis. So it is actually 2U box, but it has a 4 nodes. It is kind of 4 blades, but each blade is actually independent server. It is not associated switches or form factor behind this component. So each node is a separate server, separate component. You can say one chassis, one piece of chassis is actually getting this 4 node together. So this solution is called FusionCube 6000C. The another one is 4U box, and it is also having the high density servers. So you can see the 4U 4 node. Each node is having the different operating system or the servers. You can say these are sharing the storages also. So you can see here in this picture there is a sliding which is having the disk inside, and it can give you more storage space and more compute together. It's a solution under the FusionCube 6000, and the FusionCube 9000 is actually the product line is E9000 chassis. Huawei has E9000 blade chassis environment, which is a server blades. So this environment is together with FusionCube is delivered as a FusionCube 9000. So this can have 16 blades, so 16 compute part in one chassis. Like if we are talking about this layer, if we have to minimum 3 nodes are required to deploy the FusionCube, so 3 physical servers need to be placed. So you can see if 2U per server is there, so we have to have 6U space coming for the 3 nodes. In corresponding to this one, you can say 2U is sufficient for 4 nodes. So you can say one node itself having the 4 nodes, so you can start directly with one node as well. Another one is the 4U 4 node. This can also suffice the same. And the E9000, it has 16 blades, and this also support multiple kind of blades, the storage blade or 4 socket blade or 2 socket blades. So multiple combinations are there. So based on the need, this can be configured. So we have these solutions, FusionCube 9000, E9000 plus Fusion storage, making is FusionCube 9000. FusionCube 6000, 6800, which is high density server plus storage, making it a 6000 system. And then 6000C is a X6000 2U box, and together with Fusion storage, making it a X6000C solution. Similarly for FusionCube 2000, having the rack servers plus storage together make it one solution. So we, depending upon the need, can we choose any kind of component, and we can associate the optional component, which is the networking side. Huawei has a Cloud Engine series switches, which is giving you high performance networking and the lossless network supported. So this can be used for your faster response. And also the cabinet also, if customer asks Huawei to deliver the inbox solution, so cabinet can be attached with the UPS and other things. And on top of it, you can see these are the 3 components, the major software component. The Fusion storage as a software component, which is called SDS, software defined storage. Then the virtualized platform, we have the FusionSphere as a FusionSphere as a solution for the virtualization platform. So we also have the VMware vSphere supported here. So we can choose any one of the virtualization platform here. And the last one is the FusionCube Center, which is our management system, managing the FusionCube and monitoring the remote monitoring for this infrastructure. Okay, the third category is the FusionCube database platform. So we discussed about the first platform was the Edge edge computing requirement, where we have the FusionCube 500 and FusionCube 1000. And second one is we discuss about the FusionCube HCI, which is FusionCube 2000, 6000, and 9000. We discussed that point. The third point is the database platform. So in the database, we have the pre-configured systems, and they can directly hook up the database services on the same platform, and can deliver the more I/O to the database. So this is a pre-factory configured system. You can see if you are delivering one database environment together with the storage, you need at least this 3 layers: the database server in a cluster format, and the SAN switches to deliver the I/O, and the SAN array, which is the storage array, to deliver the I/O on the network. So basically, these three components together make your database cluster up and running. But when we talk about the FusionCube DB, so this is a database solution in-house inbox solution, and you can directly, upper layer will remain same. So your client side will remain same, application server side will remain same. So we are not touching that layer. So that layer start working directly on the system. So no need to care about the integration, the performance, the monitoring, the management. All this layer is eliminated with the inbox solution having Huawei system. So here you can see the virtualization layer is not there. Directly we have the FusionCube Center and FusionCube Builder. So two softwares directly start deploying it, and this will be ready to use for the database kind of environment. Okay, the next layer is as we discussed about the 3 layers. The another two solutions are also available as a FusionCube application point of view. The FusionCube is one box, and it can be used as a virtualized platform. It can be used as a database platform. It can be used for the VDI, the virtual desktop infrastructure solution, especially for the education industry, call center industry, or any where the large desktops are, secure channel required. So VDI as an infrastructure can also be deployed. Apart from these three segments, the Robo, as I just mentioned, the remote office and the branch office segment can also be used, the FusionCube solution. And some edge pointers, the edge computing. The edge is the last mile station, like your oil and gas mile, and the campus, or mining, or the telecom hubs. So all this can be counted as an edge computing requirement, and FusionCube is perfect solution for this 5 solutions together. Okay, if we're talking about what it has actually delivered in the industry, so you can see the virtualized storage can give you the simplified storage. So no need to manage the storage as a separate function. So simply storing your data. Unified management, you are managing the entire infrastructure remotely from the central side, and you can easily control multiple sites. So your O&M cost is actually reduced. As I mentioned here, you can see 20,000 sites can be virtualized and can be visualized from this platform. And the O&M, the intelligent O&M. So we have the live and historical performance reports, and the health checks, inbuilt health check and inspection function, which will actually make the ease of your O&M operations. So you can remotely make all your decisions for the systems. You can power on the remotely, and do the capacity expansion remotely. All these things is done from this management system. Okay, so in line to this benefits, the other benefits are, as we have already just discussed about the plug and play device. So the devices are pre-configured with the virtualization segment. Just need a small time to start provisioning the services. You can start rolling out the VMs, spinning the VM, and it can start serving the business directly. Only you need to connect the power cable and your your network connection, network uplink connection. So your system is ready for support. Attendance-free design is actually one good component. Basically, if you are talking about the large branches deployment over the network, so you can centrally control all the branches from system. Only hands and feet support is required. You can remotely deploy or configure, commission, all those things you can do remotely. And edge cloud, synergy, as we already discussed this point as well. So edge computing, which is far end or the last mile system, we can do all this management function and monitoring function from remotely. Apart from this, the Fusion Cube also have reduced the management efforts. It has boosted up the efficiency within the selected component and also giving you the compression ratio as a storage, the 3:1, and we have the eraser code, which is giving you the reliability for the data at the node level also, not only the disk level. So the failure component, if you are deploying the 3 node or 5 node cluster, so one node can fail and your business will not down. So this is addition to the efficiency and excellence and the performance together, because the IO is scattered across all the nodes. So you can achieve the maximum IOPs and the throughput from the entire cluster. And the reliability point of view, our system can have a built-in backup software, e-backup system, and also it can support the remote replication feature as well if required. The DCDR segment can also be achieved with this Fusion Cube topology. Okay, the next topic is any question here. If you have any question, then let me know.
Yes, actually, there were two questions. The first one is if you can integrate VM with FusionCube.
Yeah, VMware is available. We can integrate with the Fusion Cube.
And also, what is the model of FusionCube 2000 hardware?
Okay, for FusionCube 2000 hardware, as I just shown, the rack servers. This is the hardware. The rack server, 2U rack server, is the FusionCube 2000, and FusionCube 6000 is your X6000 platform. As I mentioned here, these are the hardware series: E9000, X6000, and X6800. So these are the server family which we are using for the hardware.
And I see there is one more question. What is the minimum and maximum node count?
So yeah, so minimum is 3, and maximum it can 1024. It can go up to 1024 expansion. In the coming slide, it is coming. This question can be answered in the upcoming slide as well.
Great.
So the quick answer is the minimum 3 and maximum you can touch upon 1024.
One more question is why we need FusionCube if we have Fusion Compute and Fusion Insight?
Okay, so Fusion Cube and Fusion Compute and Fusion Insight are 3 different product lines, and they are built up for the different segment to be addressed, different requirement to be addressed. So Fusion Cube, as I mentioned, that the Fusion Cube is a prefabricated solution. So it is no need to deploy anything on the site. So from the factory, your virtualization platform is being created, your hardware is being installed, and your cabling is done. All thing is prefabricated. So this is called Fusion Cube. If you are confused with the Fusion Compute, you can do that by yourself also. Like you choose the 2 rack server, 3 servers you can choose. You can deploy Fusion Compute. You can do the cabling, and then you can deploy the Fusion Cube software to manage it, the Fusion Cube Center, and then it become your Fusion Cube 2000. But when we say that prefabricated and the one box solution, then that is called Fusion Cube solution, which is coming from factory.
Okay, and what is the software component of the FusionCube virtualization infrastructure?
Okay, the software component, we already discussed this part here. The Fusion Cube Center, the virtualization platform, and the Fusion Storage platform. So these are the software component which is coming in a Fusion Cube solution together.
Okay, and what is the name logical network planes in Fusion Cloud Networking? I'm just reading. I don't know anything about these things, so you can check the chat box.
I'm also checking the chat box.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah, there are many questions coming up. So guys, I think some questions you are asking about the network plane. So maybe let me go through the slides first.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah, you will get the answers. And one question which was about VEM for the backup, that also you can find in the upcoming slide. So if no more question, we can continue with the next slides.
Yeah, I think we can continue for now.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now we are going with the designing part. We understand the whole concept of FusionCube and the associated hardware and the product line which is available for uh, pick and choose for the customer need, and also we understand the associated the component like the software component. So in line to the last question which asked by the software component, so the first is the Fusion storage distributed block storage component. This is a software component, and then the next one is your the virtualization software. Maybe you can choose the VMware or the Huawei FusionSphere, and the third one is the ONM, which is your FusionCube builder and the FusionCube center. So this together is one ONM system, and optionally we can also integrate with the backup environment, so eBackup or Ultra VR system for our remote application or the remote data center environment. So you can see here the component wise, if we are choosing the software component, we have the three layers. One is called the storage layer, next is the virtualization layer, and the third one is the ONM layer. And the fourth layer is actually depending upon the solution for the backup need and the Ultra VR. So this also can be plugged in from the factory itself. You can ask to deliver this together with the system. So backup will be from the day when it can be integrated. And Ultra VR is also if you have the remote locations. So Ultra VR can responsible for replicating the data from one side to the another side, and you have the high availability achievement from the site level. So these are the component, and the upper layer, no doubt, the services, you can hook up any kind of services based on your business need on this infrastructure. So it is simplifying your IT infrastructure, not only the compute and storage power level, it also adding your management layer. So you can say in this complete infrastructure, you are having associated solution, and directly the business can start it from the day one. So no need wait for long time to deploy. Okay, so let's see the storage defined storage, the software defined storage. So you can see all servers are contributing the storage spaces. Their disk are synchronizing the data from one node to another node, and this actually balanced like a RAID, or we call it user code mechanism by which your data is synchronized across all the nodes. In this scenario, if you have the 4-node system, you can see here all the disk making your storage pool or storage volume, and then the volumes can be assigned to the node in a virtualization factor. So all node having the local disk, for example, this is a local disk for this node, this is a local disk for this node, and all these disks are actually synchronizing the data. So you cannot see individual disk in your platform. You can see after the storage volume is created, after this Fusion storage is actually done the software virtualization for the disk space, then you can use that disk space and mount it into the system. So you have the two channels to mount it, either the SCSI channel or iSCSI channel. Both is available to mount this space in your the virtualization layer or the cluster layer. So in that situation, you can see that the volume can be mapped with your nodes. And after that, your VMs are utilizing that space, the storage space, and your VM can also roll over from one node to another or migrate to one node to another node seamlessly. So there is no interruption for this migration from one node to another node because your data is already been synchronized across all the nodes. So it is actually eliminating your FCSAN environment. There is, you can say, in this topology, no external cables are required for connecting the external storage space to this infrastructure. So this cluster is built in on the server disk space. And for optimizing the performance, nowadays you can see that the server can support the NVMe disk and the SSD disk. So it can also be designed to highest performance. You can add more SSDs to get the more performance disk from this virtualized space. And on top of it, you can run your business. You can create your all your business applications on those VMs and start working your business. And no doubt, the other component which I already mentioned, the FusionCube Center or FusionCube Builder, and the eBackup and UltraVR are the associated component. You can allow you to protect your system. Okay, this question will come, in the coming slides. I will show you all these questions. I think after the session, I take a few questions. Okay, so how the storage space is being, reliable and redundant. So we understand the RAID technology, which is across the same node having the two disks, they can make a RAID and then your reliability is achieved on the RAID level. But in the software defined storage, there is no RAID. Actually, this disk, if you can see one disk carrying your data P1. So in this P1 data, the reliable data of this P1, the redundancy, the peer data of this P1 cannot reside on the same server. This is server 1. So you can see here disk 1 and disk 4 are part of the server 1. And server 2 is another disk. Server 3 is another disk. So you can see if your data is residing on server 1, disk 1, this peer data, the reliable data, redundant data is not on the same server. It may be outside the node. So that's why the node level redundancy can be achieved. So you can see this P1 having the P days in the server 2. Similarly, here you can see the P2. You can see the P2 is residing on the server 1 and its reliable factor is coming on server node 3. Similarly, you can calculate any data which is available across all the nodes. So they are actually balancing out the redundant copy, and we have the choices to make a 2-copy, 3-copy concept to make the more reliability across the nodes. So in this situation, if you are having the 3 nodes, if my one node is faulty, still your data is available, your business will keep continue running like this. I hope you could have understand this one. So your data is being formed on across the another 2 node, and your data will keep continue running. One more logic which is added in terms of your storage spaces. Basically, if you compare with the SAN infrastructure, if your one cabinet power is down, your entire infrastructure will be lost. But in this situation, we can ask, we can configure our software storage system to make a reliability at the node level, also the cabinet level. So if we have the large infrastructure like cabinet 1, cabinet 2, cabinet 3, so we can actually design this the data packets. Their redundant factor should not be in the same cabinet. It can be across the different cabinet, so that if your one cabinet is going down, your reliability is being achieved across the another nodes. So this is the highest level of reliability with the Fusion storage can be achieved. Okay, coming to the network topology. If we understand the network topology, first we need to understand the type of nodes which we are having right now. In my previous slide, I just discussed about the database node. This node will be serve only the database. There is no virtualization segment here. It is directly connecting the database and start utilizing your system. Storage node is actually the node which will be contributing the storage space in a Fusion storage. So there is a hard disk. So multiple hard disks are there. All these hard disks will be contributing to make a storage space. And this storage space, they will be connected via Fusion storage agent. So this system, you can see that after the operating system, only one component FSA is installed. The next node is the CNA node, which is called the computing node. And this computing node will have the CNA factor plus FSA, the Fusion storage to connect the storage spaces. So this is your computing node, and it will allow you to create a virtual machine on this node. So the question here can I create the VM on this node, the storage node? The answer is no, because there is no CNA. The component, the computing node agent is not here, so we cannot create a VM on this node. This node will only contribute the disk space. Similarly, can I create the VMs on this node, which is the database node? No, we cannot create because it is purely dedicatedly deployed for the DBN. The node type is DBN, database node. Okay, and the next one is called the SCNA. SCNA means this node will contribute the storage space. Also, it will contribute as a compute node. So the two roles are here: the virtualization factor, which will allow you to create a VMs. The another factor is allowing the storage space. So that is called storage CNA. That means the computing plus your storage together in this node. So we can create the VM in those node, and also we can capture the disk space from this node. Okay. Third component is called the management node, MCNA, management compute node agent. So this node can also have the three components: the management, compute, and the storage together. So you can see here the VRM is the virtual machine manager for your managing the virtual infrastructure. So this you can see here together with CNA, FSA, all those things. Okay, from the networking point of view, you can see here we have the different planes, the different network planes. One is called the management plane, the storage plane, the service plane, and the BMC is the board management, which is, you can say, if you are not aware with the IBMC, ILO technology from HP, which can directly capture the ILO, the remote control of the server. So this is a different network. So you can say in this topology, you have four network requirement, and you're depending upon the roles which your system is playing, those connections or those network switch or network connections should be planned. Otherwise, it will not work. So, for example, in our servers, we have a BMC, which is for the board management console for getting the remote. So this black color, that means this wheel and this network should be connected. Same is like service plane. This will be used for your VM network or the virtual machine service network. So you can see here for virtualization layer, all this is connected on the red path. The VM traffic is going with the red path. And if in case of database, so you can see the database traffic is also going with the red path. So this is your service plane network. The third one is the storage plane. As I mentioned, that storage plane is needed because your infrastructure sharing the storage spaces. So you can see for getting the storage space from the Fusion storage, this network, the storage port network, is required to be provisioned. So we have to provision storage port network across all the nodes. And the third one is your management plane, which is your OS management or infra management, we can say. So you don't get confused. One is the board management and one is the management plane. So management plane here in this meaning is like your infrastructure management. After the OS is created, the OS IPs will be coming under this blue color network. So I hope this four networks you can understand. So this will add up to help you create your type of node, choose the type of node and create the infrastructure. Okay, next one is the key benefits for this solution. Okay, let me see if any questions are there. Okay, this slide I have already captured for you people. I will show you these answers in my question answer session. So right now I take up okay, what is this question? 288 nodes. No, we have the FusionCube deployment which support your 1000 nodes. I'll just show you the slides. Okay, let me finish actually the topics, otherwise we are moving here. Okay, so the next topic is the ONA part, the operations and management. You can see here the FusionCube has a FusionCube center which can do one single management platform for multiple branches, and you can see the full service. You can do the O&M part, you can do the management part, and the rollout part also you can do from the same segment. So you can see here from the FusionCube perspective, your management layer is simplified. You have one management layer built before your service, your business service, which is ensuring you that your infrastructure is up and running. So for entire infrastructure manage and monitoring, your FusionCube solution can give this monitoring system. Okay, here is the answer for you. The number of nodes, you can see the minimum is number of 3 nodes, and you can on demand expand the nodes if in future you are requiring more nodes to be added for your infrastructure. So you can expand. This is called scale out expansion, and this scale out expansion can reach up to 1024 nodes. So you can see here your nodes scale out is going with the 1024 nodes supported in our FusionCube. Okay, the next is some addition by Huawei. HCI solution you can achieve with the various form factors, but as in value addition, the key value addition, you can see here from Huawei, the compute layer, we have optimized the compute layer by giving the software defined computing, which is our virtualization segment. The second is the storage level optimization. So we have optimized the storage as a software defined storage. Here you can see all your SSDs or the physical disk contributing the storage space for the nodes. And the bottom line is the network side optimization or network side the contribution. Huawei is giving you RDMA over converged Ethernet ROCE, which is supporting 100G pipe. So this is a unique feature with Huawei, and this ROCE actually giving you lossless network. So why we need a lossless network is because there is a huge amount of data need to be synchronized across all the nodes, so that if in case one node is coming down, your data is available across other nodes in a fraction of seconds. So it is not business interruption. So here we need a lossless network to support this synchronization pipe. This is important. You need to understand this point. So this is a contribution from Huawei, and you can see here the more mature software defined storage, the faster CPUs, the faster SSDs. These SSDs also manufactured by Huawei. So we have our own SSDs, and the low latency network, or we call it lossless network, which is supporting ROCE switches. You can see here, this is the key highlight of the solution. You have the ROCE and the fast data reconstruction. You have up to node 1024 nodes supported in the cluster, and you have the reliability factor for the storage side. M plus N is your eraser code technology. You can create node level, you can create cabinet level also. You can create the redundancy and reliability, and cluster level high availability, which is supported by part of our FusionSphere technology and a DR solution. Okay, and apart from this, we also have the Fusion storage supporting the deduplication and compression feature, which is value adding one more component and optimizing this storage footprints. So it can be very fruitful, where the data is having the factor of deduplication segmentation, like email systems or your imaging systems. All those things we can do here as a repeated image. We can store in a single copy. And the unified management, this is also one contribution from Huawei side. Our monitoring system and management system is very mature. It can give you all level of monitorings and live, historical, provisioning and commissioning. All these supports is available in the O&M part. Okay, so let me go to the next topic, which is your the O&M challenges. So as I mentioned that the FusionCube is your remote or the edge kind of solution, where you have some couple of challenges, how you can mitigate those remote challenges or remote site challenges. So these are some questions. Maybe you can have the correlationship. How to ensure the service availability on the remote website, because there is no 24/7 service support available on your remote area. So you can think about this point. How to improve the deployment efficiency if you are remote deployment you are doing it, so how this can be improved. How to improve the recovery from the some problem happen, how you recover it remotely, how efficiently you are doing that part as well. And how about the maintenance skills? So these are the core requirements when you are coming into the O&M part. To address this one, you can see Huawei has addressed this all 3 or 4 queries, having how to solve the delivery, the full stack delivery, and how the edge level uh, deployment, and how the O&M is cost effective. Because we are not asking the O&M a skilled person on site, it can be remotely managed and monitored, so your skills cost can be saved here as an O&M, and the efficiency can be improved. So deployment scenario, you can see here the traditional method. If you are designing the same kind of infrastructure, then why the FusionCube exists? Actually, the first question I think somebody asked why the FusionCube exists. So FusionCube exists to answer this part. Maybe if you are designing the same infrastructure, like you need to create a 4-node cluster or 5-node cluster for your virtualization need. So you need to design the network part, you need to design the storage part, you need to design the compute part. All this design part is done, then your procurement cycle will come, then your shipment will come, then your hardware installation commissioning will come, and then your software is commissioned and released to the business. So this entire takes together almost 60 days. However, in the FusionCube, because it is a pre-factory, prefabricated thing, no need to do the on-site, any commissioning, any hardware configuration. All things will be done from remotely and prefabricated configuration. Only thing is that the device will come in a form factor. Just deploy it, power it on, and start your business. So only thing is that you need to roll out almost 30 days time for your doing this installation, commissioning, and the solution designing part. Here is some picturization to make this understand. So here the solution design, multi-vendor procurement. If you are actually doing the competition to analyze the good vendor for you, and the shipment arrival 4 to 8 weeks, and then multi-vendor installation commissioning. So if you have a multiple components like storage is from different vendor, server is from different vendor, and the network switch is from different vendor. So you need to involve all the skilled person to configure their component, and then you have to integrate them. Then the platform is ready for installation, and after you commission it, then it is released for the application side or the business side. So actually you are bypassing all these factors. You are coming directly from the project initiation, giving the instruction to the solution configuration, and it is directly delivered to the site, and you power it on, and your 1 week you are ready with the business. So pre-integration, pre-verification, all is done at the factory level. No need to worry about that one. And the unified service from the platform perspective, you can manage. Okay, the last component for us is the FusionCube Center with the Vision. So this is another kind of software, FusionCube Center with you can say FusionCube Center Vision. So this is actually associated component having the hardware layer plus software layer, and also having the logics understanding for the remote site management. Maybe you have 5,000 nodes across the network. All 5,000 nodes you are managing centrally and monitoring it from this system, from this FusionCube system. So you can see here, it is giving you the viewpoint for all the component which is on your edge network. So maybe the network module, the storage module, the UPS, the compute, even VM. All these components are being under the control of the Vision. And you can see it can reduce your O&M by 50%, and expenses for the travel can also reduce your 75% approximately, as in understanding. Okay, and FCV in-building function. FCV in-building function, as I mentioned, that this is a remote management system. You can do the alarm management, status monitoring, site management, application deployment. So application deployment is like you can create a templates. You can build up a templates and push it to the system, and the resource provisioning and the centralized backup. So here in this scenario, you can see it like you have the n number of sites. the edge DC1, DC2, DC3, like DCN, all these DCs, all these branches are communicating to the central side, the central DC, where the FCP is deployed, and this FCP will actually capture all your status and do the management for all these components, the UPS, the storage, the server, the switch, firewall, router. And this is the FusionCube 1000 solution, which is for actually edge level computing. So you can see here, all these components can be status monitored seamlessly from the center, and you can also do the maintenance from the remote. Not only just a monitoring purpose, you can also do the management and maintenance. So this is one beauty part, because some function you can see other solutions may have only monitoring, the central monitoring, but you cannot manage it. So for managing, you need to open a different console and browse the switch separately, browse the firewall separately, browse the storage separately. But with this centralized management, you don't need to separately browse it from the system itself. You can trigger the remote session, and then you can do the management part. Okay, so this is just a high level view. You can create actually the templates. Multiple templates are there. You can pick and choose, and you can also create your topology, your application topology, and you can bind what is your application, what is your OS, what is your version, and all this will be associated to that object, and it will be deployed. And you can also do the firmware versions, software version upgrade. So this can also be done remotely from the FusionCube Center Vision. So all this application which is deployed, you can select the new version, and it will be available for deployment. And for the monitoring point of view, you can do the customized monitoring. You can pick and choose your object which is you wanted to monitor. So basically, in this environment, the critical because this become a critical environment for supporting your critical business services. So you need to have a strong monitoring. Even you can monitor the CPU level, memory level, or the disk level, or the IO level on the network path. All this will be monitored. Okay, so the last part is we have already discussed this point also, the DC and DR implementation. So FusionCube can support this under the line of storage application. We can achieve and we can integrate this part. Okay, the one question I think I pick up from the question list, the VM. Somebody asked that whether it is available or not available. So VM can also integrate with our system, and COMVAult can also be integrated as a backup solution, and eBackup is Huawei integral part. We can do all the backup infrastructure for this system. Okay, the other key functions, point of view, you can do as and when required. You can deploy the chassis on the need basis. So pay as you go model, wherever you have this infrastructure support 280 VMs. So you are happy with this, right? And gradually your business is increasing. Now you need a 600 VM. You can add one more component to it. If you need, your business is growing even 1000 VMs, so you can gradually stack up your hardware. And this is easy to deploy. No need to do much headaches. Just add the hardware, make the connections, and start the deployment phase from system. Okay, so this is the deduplication and compression feature. You can see that it's an integral part of the software storage system, which has the internal algorithm to support your compression and deduplication part. Okay, there is one more point. The erasure code can give you 2 copy scenario, like here 22 disk with the 2 reliability. So we can achieve up to 90% the disk utilization across the systems, and with the deduplication and compression, you can also achieve the 3 copy and the erasure code. So you can have the 2 kind of protection policies: copy policy or the erasure code policy for your Fusion storage system. Okay, so replication, I already discussed this point. This is the health predictions. Basically, each component can do the smart monitoring or self-announcement. For example, hard disk. If your hard disk having the bad sector reaching certain level, for example, if your hard disk has the 8% or 10% bad sector already achieved, so this disk will announce himself as a faulty disk. So it will prepare the trigger alarm that I'm going to faulty. This is called the smart feature and the predictions of the failure. And the SSDs also can prone to give you more updates about the life cycle of the SSDs. Network also you can component wise you can monitor their the life cycle and the server component. So in this level you can have actually from uncertainty to the performance compromisation. You can actually find the deteriorate situation where your performance can deteriorate. Okay, so this is a one typical networking topology. If you have understand the HCI cabinet level architecture, so each server contributing the storage space also. So in this segment, you can see we have the 4 number of network cards, 4 number of 10G Ethernet cards in this solution, and they are actually connecting. And the red color is your management, the GE management card. So this is called top of the rack switch, store switches on the same cabinet. Similarly, another cabinet. Similarly, another cabinet. So you can do cabinet by cabinet expansion also. And all these cabinet are actually communicating to the core network switch, which is from the customer side, or if the infrastructure is ready, we can also give this system as a greenfield project. So this uplink can be given from the core network, the blue color and the red color, and all your networking can be designed internally with the stack. So this is giving you the high reliable hardware and high reliable topology in terms of networking. Okay, so I think time is very passing very fast. So I'm just quickly finishing this part, and then we can move to the question answer session. Um, Unified management system, we already touched upon this point. We have the multi-layer, the virtualization layer, the hardware layer, or the storage, fusion storage, the software storage layer, or the physical resources layer. So all this can be managed and monitored from central location by using the FusionCube center. FusionCube Builder is a tool actually by which you can deploy the system. You can choose FusionSphere or VMware as a platform, and it will easily discover the server and configure the system. So very easy to deploy the infrastructure on site. One-click configuration. If you decided that this is actually the planning part, we have to plan our IP segments for the 4 networks. I think if you remember the 4 networks, what are the 4 networks? The BMC network, the service network, the storage network. So all those networks, if you have the planning finished, you just fill the information, make your configuration file ready, and you can discover the system and start pushing the configuration file. So it will automatically detect the server pushing the slot number 7 as a management IP like this. It will start configuring all the IP addresses based on your sheet, based on your configuration sheet. Okay, this is also in line to the monitoring purpose. Centrally, you can do the dashboarding. You can create your own dashboard for multiple graphs, for multiple input, output. What is my core service component? I can monitor it. What is my core KPI? So here, if you can see the historical KPI, this also can be managed and monitor function. Similarly, here you can have the different KPIs for IUPS, bandwidth, delays, all these things you can do in a FusionCube center and make your own dashboard for monitoring point of view. Okay, expansion is also one the same thing like the FusionCube. We can have the requirements for expanding the current infrastructure. So we can just finish the new IP addresses there, upload the configuration, and start the deployment. So it is very easy to expand. And then the health check and the log collection. This is also the important function where you are defining the health check for your infrastructure. The critical component of the server or storage component, you can do single click health check and confirm that your hardware is okay. The VM service level, this is not a physical level, this is a virtual machine level. So VM level also you can manage entire status, the CPU, memory, the disk, and the detailing of each VM. You can do all this resource management. You can do the template management within this virtual resources. So the one is the physical component. The second one is the virtual resources. So you can manage this from the Fusion Cube Center, and you can configure all those services. Capacity expansion we already seen this. Log collection also I have shown you. Health check also I have shown. We can see here actually you can see some status are filled. So it will show you the human language corrective actions. So you can find the corrective action, what is wrong with this system, how I can fix this issue. If you still the issue is there, you can have the tech support and can open uh, the remote support from the Huawei team. Okay, upgrade also supported within the system. You can upgrade the system versions. So here you can see here the system upgrades job is planned. We can plan the job and do this OLM part. So the last part is the e-service connection. We call it call home feature. So call home feature is like your remote infrastructure in terms of hardware point of view and the configuration point of view. This will be configured to pass the SMTP alarm to the e-server. So e-service is our Huawei platform. So you can see here this is a client system. This is a Huawei system. So client system will communicate on email, SMTP email, and email will be received on the e-service platform. And from there, the tickets or information will pass to the tech team or to the spare team if the hardware is faulty, and your CSC will align on that job, and it will align your frontline engineer, which is your FSC, and inform the customer. So you can see the seamless column feature. We can configure it in the system itself. We have four systems are there to configure the 4 locations. We can automatically trigger these emails from this Fusion Center. So this Fusion Center will automatically trigger the information to our e-service platform. Okay, for more details, you can also log into the support website, and you can find the HCI under the FusionCube infrastructure, and you can find the more product details for learning. You can have the POC testing, you have the engineering planning design, you have the product guides or the training slides. All things are available in our support website. So you can go to support.huawei.com/enterprise and find the HCI or FusionCube chapter. Okay, from the compatibility query, this is also one important tool, online tool. If you wanted to do, because this software and the hardware are 2 components. If you are having the existing hardware and wanted to add it into the FusionCube, you can do that, but you can verify the compatibility metrics. So this is the compatibility query tool. You can find it in our support website. Even you can type in Google also. You can come into this platform directly, and you can search like HCI FusionSphere, and you have the model number, and you can see what are the components you wanted to see, and then search. It will show you all your RAID card, all your the disk level, all your network card level, or the 10G card level or the HBA card level. All this level of compatibility will show you in this compatibility tool. And the second tool is called your product simulation environment. So simulation environment is also available in the online. So you can also support, you can type storage simulation in Google, you can be coming into this. So you can see here, if you are able to see the FusionCube builder, we have already 4 or 5 versions available. You can click any version and that simulator will be running in your laptop. And FusionCube, FusionSphere environment, or FusionCube with VMware environment. So all these 2 tools are available lively. You can just go and make ourselves familiar with the operations of it. Okay, so if I'm jumping to some live session here. Okay, so if you if you go to the simulation page, you will see this page here. And if I can click any of these 6.0.5 or FusionCube, FusionSphere System 6.0, so this will land you into the next page. Like here, it's the FusionCube FusionCube Center. I can do the initialize also just to show you. I'll just show you the entire method. So here you can see when we are doing the initializing of our system, it will ask you all the configuration detail, which node, which cabinet, which IP address, which MAC address. We need to freeze all these things, and the same topology can repeat for all the nodes, and it will be automatically discovered. And you can see here it is uninstalled. So status is uninstalled means it is right now ready for taking the software. On the next click, it will verify the details. You can see here, verify the details. Yes, you can see all things will be configured in the next phase. I click on build process, so you can see it is starting the building of my infrastructure. So what I'm doing, actually I'm just remotely doing this function with the infrastructure which is available. You can also look and feel this option. So you can see after the building up, your console is ready. And this console, you can see all your key parameters for dashboarding, like your IUPS, your IO bandwidth, your delays, your key KPIs. You can make all this charting here. You can go into the resources also. You can see what are the resource status, what is the utilization of the resources. If you have roll out the database, you can see the database node also, because this is a physical node, right? So physical node, you can do all those things live. So this is a very beautiful tool. If you have the logics, what component need to be monitored, what component need to be analyzed. So all those things you can do, trace to the hardware location. You can see all the alarms here in the window and control your locks and alarms. Okay, so now the last topic, I think we already crossed 1 hour time. Elena, is okay or we have to close? Okay, let me.
From my side, it's okay. However, if you can stay a bit longer, we can continue. It's no issue from my side.
Okay, fine. So I'll just take another 5-10 minutes, not more than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next monitoring tool after this, as I given you understanding, the FusionCube Center Vision. So this is the GIS control. So you can see global. Placing the devices where the devices are allocated running in the globe, and you can have the one single console for monitoring the entire infrastructure. How many devices are running, how many alarms are there, which one is faulty, which one is rebuilding. So it is kind of a complete cloud suite for you to effectively manage your infrastructure and monitor it remotely, and also do the deployment part. So here you can see the all geographical you can maintain in the system, and all this charting and the dashboarding can be done for alarm status, or report export, or data collection. All those things can be possible with this FusionCube Center Vision. And here you can see the unified O&M function. So you can view the central side, and these are the remote side. You can do all your provisioning methods. You can also classify the administrator rights, the permissions, like administrator 1, administrator 2, administrator 3, and they can have the specific permission for the specific site. So they cannot, like here in this situation, the administrator of 1 cannot log into the site 3. Only site 3 can log in by administrator 3. So this logics can also be supported. From the mobile application also, you can do the entire infrastructure handy in your mobile. You can manage, monitor all the alarms, and you can trigger the supports from your mobile itself. Okay, so for the online lab, hands-on lab, I just show you one simulator, which is I just shown in my session. You can practice it. You can, I think you can type on Google also, go to the simulator page. It is freely available. It will give you the idea how the components are associated. And if you wanted to have more detailed learning about the Fusion Cube, so you can go to the Fusion Cube page directly on the site, and this will help you to understand the Fusion Cube in deep because um, 1 hour session or 1.5 hour session is not enough actually to make everybody master in the topological layer. But yes, it is actually starting point, so you can touch base, learn more, and the topology will remain same. The underlying infrastructure is your hardware layer, all the supported hardware layer. And for Fusion Cube, it's mandatory that you are using the software storage, not using the external storage. So the software component is fixed. And on top of it, your virtualization infrastructure is fixed, whether you choose VMware or the FusionSphere. And to manage this infrastructure, your management layer is fixed, and your protecting layer, the protection layer is also fixed. You can choose the eBackup or UltraVR as a default, or you can choose another solution for doing the backup. Okay, so I think I'm done. Elena, now we can go to the question answer session.
Yes, first of all, can you please go to the previous slide a bit? The one with the webinar post? Yes, exactly. Yeah. So for those of you who are new to this live sessions, at the end of each live webinar, we have a Q&A session. We have 3 questions based on the presented content, and you can go to the Huawei Enterprise Support community and leave an answer under this post, the webinar post. I will also leave the link here again. So if you go there and reply the 3 questions, you will get a chance to win a $20 Amazon.com gift card. We have 10 prizes in total. So 10 users will be selected out of those who reply correctly to the questions that you will see in the next slides. So if you are interested in participating in the Q&A session and winning, please check out the link I will send you now, and if you might get a chance to win. Since we don't have a lot of time left, I will let you resume the presentation. I just want to invite everyone who is not yet a member of our community to join. I sent the link here in the chat box. Please log in first if you already have an account. Please register an account if you haven't, if you don't have an account yet. We have monthly webinars, monthly activities with rewards, a lot of technical posts to learn from. And also you can you can post technical questions there, and Huawei engineers and experts will reply in less than 24 hours. So if you are looking for technical support on Huawei enterprise products and solutions, I invite you all to join our community and start posting there. And for those of you who are interested in doing even more, I would just like to let you know about the new Elite Users program that we have. We are trying to find the most active members of our community and offer different types of rewards for each category. So if you think you are interested in participating more by sharing technical content, maybe even hosting a webinar, helping other users in the community by replying their questions and so on, I kindly invite you to check out this Elite Users program. I will also send you the link. We are trying to make our members more active and find different types of things that maybe you will enjoy doing. So I would really like to hear your feedback on this program. This is a new program that we have launched this year, the Elite User Program, and we hope that you'll find it interesting and that you'll find it interesting enough to even join, maybe as one or more type of elite user. You can see there we have 5 different categories. Each of them has its own requirements and its own incentives. If you want more information, you can also contact me on the community. I will be happy to reply every questions you have. Okay, and since we don't have a lot of time left, please go to the post and reply the 3 questions that will follow. And I want to thank you all for staying for more than it was announced. And thank you for participating. And I really hope that you will join our future sessions as well. And why not, if you want to learn even more about this topic, maybe we will have another webinar on this topic, because I realize there's so much information and it's impossible to cover it in just 1 hour. So please, can you go to the questions now?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, this is the first question. The questions will also be posted in the post, in the community post. So don't worry, you'll also find the questions there. No, please don't reply here, because your replies here will not be taken into consideration. In order to participate in the Q&A session, please go to the webinar post that I already sent the link for. I will send it again if you want. So please check the link.
They can note down the question, or you will publish the question in the webinar
Yeah.
post.
They need to reply the questions under this webinar post.
Okay, okay.
In the forum, not here.
Oh, okay, got it. So guys, I think you can note down the question, or the question will also be reflected in the post. You can refer to the post also.
I will update the post and add the questions there.
Correct,
after we end the live session. Don't worry. We can move to the next one. I see a question from Deepak. Where in webinar? I'm not sure what you are referring to. If you are referring to the questions, you should go to the forum to reply them. Okay, let's go to the third one. Yes, here, I send the link. This is where I will post the questions, and you should leave a comment under this post with the answers. And I will also update this post here because I know that maybe you didn't get a chance to watch the entire webinar. I will update the post and add the training materials. Yes. Okay, here is the first question. Do you want the written questions? Do you need them? Is it easier if I leave them in the chat box?
Yeah, you can leave this I think question in the chat box itself.
Yeah. Okay. So I will share the questions here, but please go to the forum to reply them, because otherwise your answers will not be taken into consideration. Okay, this is question 2. And also sharing question 3. Okay, so these are the three questions, and for the last time I will share the link where you have to go to reply. Okay, so that there is no confusion. Okay. Okay. And also, if you have more questions on this topic, please go there and leave your questions there. My colleagues will help you with answers for every questions you have. So, in case there are still some questions left on the topic, please please go to the community and share your questions there. Don't worry, everyone will get an answer really fast. So I want to thank you all for participating. I want to thank you, Kasim, for hosting our webinar today. If you will agree to host again in the future, it will be my pleasure, of course. I see there's a lot of knowledge to be shared, and I know there was a lot to be covered.
Yeah, I will be happy, more than happy to share the information, no issue.
That's great. Thank you very much. For everyone, as I said, I will also share the training materials after the live webinar, also the videos, so you will find all the materials you need in the community. And please create an account if you haven't already. We are waiting for you there, and thank you all for your feedback and replies. It's always a pleasure to hear from you and get your feedback. Okay, this was it for today. It was my pleasure to have you all in the live meeting. I hope everyone is healthy. I hope everyone is okay. And more webinars are coming, so don't miss out. Many thanks to all.
Yeah, thank you all for giving the time here in this webinar. I think on the topics, I try to make it simplified for everyone because it is a little complicated technology. So more information you can find in the post, and touch base more questions in the post itself. So we will be having more question sessions there.
Yes.
Thank you for joining. Yeah.
Thank you. And I also invite you to subscribe to our webinars, and you can get email notifications so that for the next webinars, you'll get an email notification so that you don't miss it out. If you are interested, please join there. Thank you. Thank you all for your feedback. Thank you for joining. Have a nice day or evening. Goodbye, everyone.
Yes, yes. Different time zones.
Yes, different times. Goodbye.
Thanks, Elena, for your fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.